Our friends, welcome to the channel. Bob here. Welcome to Monsters and Memory stream. Today, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to start a new character. So I don't know. I'm assuming everyone's playing. Who wants to play? I'm not sure. I thought I'd start a new character so you can see the first few levels and whatnot. And a dwarf enchanter is what I've been playing the most on the closed testing recently, so I thought I'd go through the process of just starting off, so you can have a look at the starting and the quests and see how it all goes. I'm liking the dwarf model probably the most at the moment, so most of my characters are dwarves. Yeah, and I like the hair. I like the hair colour setup, the white hair and beard and the black eyebrows. Yeah, eyebrows are a thing as you get older. Like my eyebrows just don't stop growing, literally. And I do actually trim them, even though I'm a 54-year-old man, because they just go crazy. But they just do not stop growing. And I've noticed that my hair seems to be growing quicker as well. I have no idea what that is, or why that is. I don't take any kind of, those testosterone TRT things, although I've been thinking, I thought about it. I think channel is always the best idea here, probably for a caster. Stone form is a dwarf. I think it's dwarf only. Master artisan, I think, is so OP there for that in that option. And then we get to here. I'm not sure as a enchanter what I would probably do and what I wouldn't do. Bookworm, as I said before, is naff. It's like it's just another fix for losing spellbook when you die. A disenchanter. Okay. Chef, I don't know. I think initially I'm just going to enchanter. I think initially I'm just going to be leveling with this guy. I'm not quite sure how much crafting he'll do, so I guess it's kind of almost irrelevant. So let's be a fisherman, because you start with a fisherman's pole. I guess we'll do that. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure what effect Dex and Agility has on a caster. Maybe Dex or Agility helps with channeling or whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to start clean, so you can see a clean start. As you can see, I've got loads of characters, as you can probably guess. I've noticed a problem with performance this time, in the sense that normally when I play games, I'm just one of those people that likes to look at numbers. So I have various programs running telling me how my PC is performing. And I noticed with this test, they did say there was a problem with leaving your PC idle on the character creation screen, but I've noticed with this test, like even with limiting the FPS, like it seems to be straining my PC a lot more than games that look a lot more, that are much more detailed graphically. But they're all, hello. I've got the trainee fishing pole and my grubs. But my grubs are in my hand. That's interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. This was something that happens with Unreal and Unity games. Like I've had it with other Unity MMOs as well, where for some reason it just absolutely hammers your system. Depending on maybe there was a version update recently or something. I'm not sure. Hey Liz, how you doing? Another class I've played quite a lot in closed testing is the Elementalist, which is really interesting. It's got a bit more going for it, I think, than I've been playing the Magician a little bit more, and I really enjoy it on P99. But the Elementalist has got a little bit more going for it in this game. over the magician. Just a bit more, utility. You can actually charm. You can actually charm elementalists and stuff, elementals and stuff and whatnot. And yeah. Oh, sorry to hear that, Liz. I hope things, Right, so am I going the right way? Yeah. So first things first, we're going to hand in our note. I think the enchant is a weird class in the sense that the lore behind it seems to be that people don't like enchanters. Maybe because they're a bit tricksy. So you kind of you're doing it so you're doing everything behind closed doors, kind of thing, as it were. I think you can give the note to 2 people. I think. Maybe not. Maybe in a sec. But we're going to give it to this little dude. And it spawns a little goblin called Nerlbus. Yeah, so basically what he's saying is, as an enchanter, you need to be registered with the city. Or if we don't want to be registered with the city, and we want to be a badder, I say badder, I don't know, not bad necessarily. You can give it back to Wingcog, which is what we're going to do. I probably should go the other way because on my other enchanter I kind of did this way, but I kind of prefer this way. And then we've got to go and deliver some stuff to some dudes. I think he teleports you. Yeah, he teleports you to the first one. I think you have to say I am ready, probably. I was lucky with... I'm not sure if it's the same going the other way. But I managed to do the second part of the quest as well by running to the camp, because I kind of roughly knew where it was. So I ran to the camp, and I could loot the thing or whatever it was and come back again because there were people killing there. I might better do it on this one as well, actually, because there's more people playing, so maybe there's someone camping there. So I think I managed to do that at level 2, even though the mobs are like, well, the mobs are down to like level 10 or something, aren't they? So I think each item tells you who it's for. So this is for this guy. It gives you a ting that you put in your bag for wing. You can read the stuff about what you get and examine what you get and stuff. It's quite interesting, if you want to know a bit more about lore and that kind of thing. Who's the nearest? I think this dude is in the port. I know one of them is a necro and the other one is at the other gate. Let's go into the port. I think it's near the port. I think it's a lady, actually. Lady. Around near the port, so we're going to turn that in. Yeah, so that's the thing I've noticed with the game it's still buttery smooth, but my PC normally laughs at even the most technically graphical games. Yesterday was kind of going, I've done it a couple of times, so my PC normally laughs at the most strenuously graphical games, but yesterday it was like, bloody hell. But as I said, I think that's just a Unity thing. Unity, that's how we say. But it does allow for people to make their own games independently, so that's, you know, can't knock it too much. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, I should have gone the other way. I've got to go right around here. Oh, I'll just swim round. I'll swim round. Level up some swimming. Wait. Now I kind of got how terribly slow you are at swimming when you first start. I guess that's although the skill does generally go up quicker, a bit quicker. It's quite nice Earth. It's quite nice actually. Water. I like to have a separate. Same with ErQuest. I like to have a separate window for skill updates. I don't know why, again, because I just like to watch numbers going up, essentially. Yes, I'm loving the dwarf model. I think it's probably my favourite one, that and the goblin. Disappointingly, like I you know, well, I kind of obviously respect the work, whoever did it. I just am not a fan of the ogre model. I think it's a bit too, I don't know. It's difficult to beat the EverQuest one, I suppose. You know. Just a little tip for you there. If you're swimming, you can jump to get a little ahead of the game. Just keep doing it, but you know, from an immersion point of view, I'm not a big fan. I'd rather not. I noticed that the little stats and XP window comes up by default now. It's quite interesting. No, it's not that interesting, but you know. We'll go around there, look around the corner there. There was a better way of doing this. I just went the wrong way. I thought, yeah, I play around offline with the, well, off stream with the faces and stuff, and they've added a few more, which is pretty interesting. Not sure about the muted hair though. I think if you're gonna have, if you're going to have ginge, you've got to go proper ginge, I think. I think the elemental models are really cool. I really like my elementalist actually. I did start one annoying thing that really pissed me off. I think it's the same on EverQuest, but I don't know. Well, I don't know what there's no reason for it. Is that I tried to add my other guys to my guild, but you can't do it when they're offline. It's like you can add them as a friend, and I don't understand why you can't just send them a guild invite, and then when they log in, they can accept it. It's like fucking hell. I think they're up there, aren't they? Yeah. I seem to remember when I first did this quest. Oh, it's raining outside. I for some reason I was thinking, how the hell do you get to them? Must be up here. Oh, ooh, what's happened there? Oh, I've fallen in the floor. Great. Maybe that's... Does it not like first person? No, no. Oh, there she is. It's the vial. Okay, that's 2 items. I think it probably makes sense if we get the portal to the other side. I don't know. Is this a cut through? It might be. Oh yeah, there's snakes down here, aren't there? And rats. There's snakes and rats. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a levelling section. I'm sure I fought them a bit at some point. I think since I'd love there to... I mean, this is obviously based on a particular theme, this particular area, but like I really miss... One of the reasons I loved Dark Age of Camelot, well, one of the reasons I enjoyed playing it was kind of the British kind of mythology type thing. But I don't think the traditional fantasy setting is particularly... I guess you could argue it's medieval, but I don't think it's particularly... I should have gone the other way around. I don't think it's particularly, you know, that kind of theme. I'd like to see an MMO that was themed. In fact, I was kind of... The world thing that I'm thinking about building is going to be themed more around like a medieval British or European kind of thing. Now I've got to make sure that I think it's the golden cage for him, isn't it? Sexton Harding. Might as well go out this way. I think there are some skeletons along this bit sometimes that are aggro. That's about all. Such a weird, like I switched it off yesterday, I think, but it's such a weird fucking vibe with these games when they first come out. Like, you know, and I kind of understand it to a certain extent, but like you just get people trying to recreate their some sort of... I said it before, like people shouting out like EverQuest memes in OOC and stuff. Oh, it just makes me cringe so hard. It's like, fucking hell. It's a weird vibe I do find with these games, and I think it's weird. People are weird who play them. That's all I'm going to say. So that's my whole thing there. That's all I'm going to say. These shits are aggro, aren't they? Yep. God, hang on a sec. It's really raining. I opened a calculator. I should tell you actually to close a window because it's raining really hard, and Yeah, I find the whole thing weird, Liz. Though, as you know, I kind of find the whole thing weird where someone creates a game and it's really, really, really like EverQuest in so many ways, but then they'll go. But then when someone mentions EverQuest, they'll go, "Oh, well, we're not really supposed to be not trying to be EverQuest, but clearly you are." And oh, I don't know. I think the whole thing, from the player base to the development, is fucking weird. I kind of feel it's just that way just because I'm going to go off on a rant again. Not a rant, but a moan. But I think it's that way just because I think people want to attract a certain audience because that certain audience is ready made, but they don't really want to maybe tell them that they're not really going to give them what they might be implying they're going to give them. I don't know. There's a dude here. I remember that dude. Oh, I think I've gone the wrong way. Oh no, I haven't. Okay. Mallory Moorland. She gives you invisibility versus undead. Here. Let's head back to Windcog. I haven't been in this section for quite a while. I wonder if the guards still keep running around killing all the mobs, as they used to quite a while ago. A guard would just go from mob to mob, butchering the place. It's funny, so like when you see like low level character, not even low level characters particularly, but I think almost like anyone who can wear it does the scarab carapace quests. I guess because why wouldn't you? I don't think there's the similar quest for cloth wearers as there are level wearers. I don't think. Maybe I just missed it. I think maybe I did see one, but oh, where am I going? God's sake, I'm not thinking straight. Yeah, I think in general it's one of those. It's kind of like a quest, quite nicely designed in the sense that there's at a certain leveling point. At a certain leveling point, there's no reason not to kill scarabs because they're just hanging around at that level. I can understand people now just blasting through them. I mean, it's not that difficult to make yourself a set of bronze armor. I think blacksmithing is pretty easy to get into. Certainly more so than some of the other trade skills that need a lot of work. I think. Okay, so that was the first section of the quest. Now we will go and do we'll go and find the secret enchanter. Going the wrong way. Hurry up. Hurry. I think dwarves in robes is such a cooler. It's a cool thing. I've got any bags at the moment though, so I need to go and get my bag from the gnome bloke outside the other gate. I need to save up a couple of silver to buy a backpack or something probably. I've never got a piece of armour from the blister beetles thing. I've killed plenty, but I've never got a piece. I've never got the shield either, because that stuff is just like rocking all shit. I've never had. In fact, I don't even remember having any drop from one of those beetles. Maybe I don't even know if. I mean, it must be in. I'm assuming there's quests on the wiki. I do like the fact that you get, like, I think all characters should start off like this, where you have a quest that takes you around and you get kind of like, you almost get your first level just from doing the quests. I think that's really good. I have this bug with my chat sometimes where it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, so you can't see. Yeah, in general, I mean, I would say that some of the areas are a bit designed. I think some of the areas are kind of a bit designed, not over complex, but but sometimes a person is placed just in a building, you know, and there's loads of buildings. I mean, I don't find that fun or interesting at all. I noticed the disenchanting is a recent thing, I think, to me anyway. I need to give this key to someone else, don't I? I can't remember who it is. What am I missing? Yeah, and it only seems to be on the mud chat channel as well, where sometimes, like it just happened just then, where it was kind of cut off a bit. But you know, Carson sells the daggers, doesn't he? Which I haven't got any money for at the moment. The spell seller is over there. I think there's someone else somewhere. Yeah. Is it Vacuum we need to give it to? I think it's someone inside a building, actually. No, you don't. I don't want that. How are you doing? Give me keys for. I think there's a couple of. I think there's a couple of. Is there? There's a couple of twins. A couple of twins, obviously. There's a pair of twins. I think maybe you have to give them the key. It's kind of coming back to me. Maybe. Where are they? I think it's Pier, isn't it? Is it? Yeah. Gives me the key back. Thanks. Oh yeah, okay, so the second part of the quest is going to that camp which we maybe we'll do. Then we'll get level 2, and then maybe we'll go. If people are camping there, it's easy. Speaking of camping, holy fucking shit! Honestly, there's some absolute morons playing this game. Yesterday, I don't know if it generally just bards are just twats, but there was a bard yesterday who just killed 2 mobs that I was fighting. That was, you know, just so I didn't get any experience. And they quickly got bored of it and ran off. But it's not the first experience like that. People being dicks. I don't know where I am. I know where I want to be going. I don't know where I am. Oh, bloody dot. Oh, actually, no, it's all right. We're going the right way. No, people generally being. It's like the thing is, as I said, I've said it before. I know, but I just think in 2025, like EverQuest was designed around an awful lot of technical limitations, but I just don't think unless Unity really is just that bad at stuff. I don't know. You know, I don't think that in a game where you have to kill mobs to progress, I don't, particularly at the start, you know, where it's a first impression thing, I don't think you should have to run around and around and around looking for something to kill, and you know, and there's 6 of you running towards a mob to try and kill it. I just don't understand. That's just not. It's like hell levels, right? The only reason those are classic is because technical limitations or mathematical mistakes. There's no need to be adding those kind of things in a modern MMO. I don't mean modern MMO. I mean like a remake of a classic MMO. There's just no need for it. But hopefully we balanced out. I mean, there's a real issue when you get to level 4 or 5 in both of the 2 bigger newbie zones, where there's just not enough. There's just not enough mobs, really. Of the 4, 5, kind of 6 level. I mean, is it Shady Dunes, the one over here? I'm not sure exactly, but over this, you know, in this one, you've literally got like 2 Ashira camps, and yeah, I think, I mean, I don't actually think it's probably too bad to get into level 4, but when you go over into is it Shady Dunes? I think that's going to be very dark for you. I'll put the filter on, but I'll need to remember to take it off so that things don't not washed out during the day for you dudes. Yeah, it's there's 2 Ashira camps. One of them's really small. The only other proper camps, I would say, are the crocodiles and caimans, which are too high at that level. And then over here you've got the you've got the humanoid mobs where the oasis area is. Let's just get to level 2, and then we'll. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm complaining about things that in a game that's not released yet, but bandits, yeah. But other than that, there aren't any other real proper camps. So the first Ashira camp, there's literally like 6 mobs. The second one, there's like 3, 4 mobs. I mean, that's going to be swallowed up by one group easily. I mean, at level 5 or 6, I could solo all those mobs on my own. So what you're kind of left with outside of that are like roaming rattlesnakes. That's kind of about it. Like maybe the large dune bats, maybe, but they green out quite quickly when you get to level 6 or 7. So it just needs more mobs in that range. I think the thing is that this is kind of a newbie area. This is a brilliant location over here. Not the actual smaller alligators, but this section here where you get all the mobs at level 3 apart from the rattlesnakes, which is level 4. So you can nicely get to level 6 over there easily. if you get a few people there, obviously it's a bitch. But I know yesterday there was probably 3 of us there, and we all kind of had enough mobs, you know. So I think it was fine. What needs to happen in Shaded Dunes is, even if you move out past the Ashira camps, there's still loads of level 1 and 2 mobs. Yeah, so if you break it up into quarters, for example, like this. Oh yeah, I see you there. Like this first quarter, it's got quite a lot of level 1 and 2 mobs, but that's fine because then you can get overspill, newbie overspill from the starter zone there. And then you've got level 2 mobs like the fire beetles and the spiders. You've got level 3 mobs, the scarabs. But you've got some level 4s. You've got some level 4s. Let me just get to level 2. I might as well. You get to level 4s. The rattlesnakes. I think the large dune bats are level 2. But the issue is that that's kind of it then. And then you're looking at after that you're looking at the caimans and the crocodiles, and you know, like the giant fire beetles and giant scarabs and giant spiders, which are all really designed for between 8 and 12, I would say, roughly. So there just needs to be and the weird thing as well is the other secondary newbie area is the same. It's like you've got a strip of newbie mobs, then you've kind of got some rattlesnakes and bits, but then at the back you've got you've got like giant fire beetles and spiders and that kind of thing, which are not designed for that sort of level. So there needs to be more mobs around, kind of in the level 4 to get you to level 8 essentially. And I think both of those starter areas that lead off of Night Harbour have got the same problem. There's just not enough of them. There's not enough camps. There are more Ashira camps actually in the other zone. I can't remember what it's called. Along the left wall as you zone in. Yeah. I don't know. You know, maybe some people go, oh, it's a classic experience, but honestly, that's bullshit. I think. I think it was just a technical limitation. You know, it's like yes, that's the one. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're level 2. So we're going to pop over to try and do the second part of the quest. But I'll only be able to do it if... I'll only be able to do it if there's someone camping the camp. Even if I had a pet, like... I think the mobs are level 8 to 10 or something, so... Yeah. And I found that with all of the characters, actually. It's not like I haven't been able to level to 8 on a number of characters. It's just that there's a kind of an imbalance there between mobs that are available, particularly as you say when you've got like, I don't know, like Pia wants you to go to a camp that is you know the camp, I can't remember what the mobs are called, the pirate camp thing along this coast bit here. You've got to go there and you've got to inspect one of the tents, and there's like a thing you can take or pick up or whatever, basically. What I probably should have done is we've got to inspect some stuff, basically. I won't be able to do it if it's not camped, but I just imagine that... How many people are on at the moment? 217. Yeah, so these crocodiles are only level 2 or 3, so they'll only get you to level 5 comfortably, really. Um, and then from those, there's nothing in between because the caimans are like, and the crocodiles are what are the crocodiles? 10 plus probably. I think the caimans are 8 plus. I think when I'm here at level 8, you get an occasional caiman that's even con. The scarabs, I think, are 9 or 10. Maybe the scarabs are 10, the spiders are 9, and the fire beetles are 8. And you got some skeletons as well. I know they've kind of talked about balancing it out a bit, but um, there's also a difficulty jump that I don't. There's also a mob difficulty jump that I don't think is accounted for in your character. Where the fire beetles and the scarabs and the spiders at relevant similar levels, like dark blue or whatever, do significantly more damage to your character. Like it feels like it's significantly more. It doesn't fit. It feels like there's too much of a big jump to that point. And the caimans that are blue to me when I'm fighting here seem quite big undercons actually. Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a balance, slight balance issue between I'm not sure if it's changed. The scarabs are definitely the I was here the other day, and the scarabs are definitely like 9 or 10. The spiders are 8 or 9. Maybe the fire beetles are 7, so they were blue to you. But I remember when I was leveling my beast lord, and because of the DPS, I could find that I could kill whites, even cons, and yellows pretty easily. So maybe that was why. I'm not sure. Oh my god, man, it's just ridiculous. Are they going to get killed by chompers? Chompers. Let's just sit back and have a look. Just for a laugh. Will they notice him coming? Who says that? The madmen are so immersion breaking to fight. It's unbelievable. It does help, yeah, actually, yeah, because you can fear the scarabs, can't you, as well and stuff. The issue that I had with the madmen was that they chain cast snare just as it's going to wear off of you. So well, when I fight them anyway, they do. So you're constantly snared, and that is really immersion breaking. It just doesn't feel organic at all. Now I know that as a player, like we can see spells and when they're just going to wear off and that kind of thing. But the madman was blatantly re-snaring every time it was about to wear off, and it kind of felt cheap, and it felt immersion breaking as well. So that wasn't a fun experience. And as you say, they're massive undercons as well. It's ridiculous. I mean, like for a druid. I mean, it's a fucking druid, for God's sake. Honestly, what the hell? Yeah, that felt a bit cheap. Oh, there's a giant sighting. Hey. There's one up there, madman. Yeah, just the AI doing it. Do you mean like the snary thing? The AI doing it though just feels a bit cheap. I don't know why, but it just does. Like the madman counting his snare until it wears off, and it's obvious. It's obviously programmed because he would cast it every time it was just wearing off, and it just felt a bit, Saying that though, as an enchanter, could charm one of the bastards and just send it around killing everything. It's, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it feels like you're playing against a player, which is not, even a player wouldn't be able to perfectly refresh it though. I'm guessing, in the heat of battle and all that kind of thing. It just felt a bit weird. And the healing as well, and the mana. It's like I could kill them on my elementalist actually, but I think I was probably 2 or 3 levels higher than them, maybe even 4. Maybe I had a level 12 pet or something, and I had to kind of chain heal him. You know, it was. Oh come on! All these players on, and there's no one camping here. Oh, it's the weir rats at night. Is that right? Weir rats at night, and then I think it's the pirates during the day. It's 10 p.m. I'm surprised there's no one here actually. There's someone over there killing undead, but I mean, this is prime camping. This place. Never fizzled though. I think that needs a lot of work. Casters in general probably need a lot of work. I think they just do. There's just too much going on. Well, I guess there's just no one here, is there? There's a dude running around on his own. That's about it. Yeah, so in one of these tents, I think it's probably one of these two. I can't remember exactly. Well, actually, it's probably more likely one over in the middle there. It was a few weeks ago when I did it previously. I'm not sure if you know, Liz. Am I right in thinking that these weir rats despawn during the day? I think, don't they? I'm wondering if they despawn and there's a brief moment when I can run into the tent. It doesn't matter if not. You know, I'll just come back another time. But I just thought we'd try out, see if I can cheat it like I did before. Yeah, the spell thing's quite weird at the moment. Like recently they took away the only buff that a Beastmaster had, which I thought was weird. I mean, I logged into my Beastmaster the other day and it was like, oh Jesus Christ! I vainly, I mean, I guess I should just read patch notes, but I vainly go to the Beastmaster trainer or spell seller in the hope that they've itemised the spells a bit more, because it's so miserable. Like, even I don't know what level my one is, level 12 or 13, but even at that level, like I've got a miserable heal, I've got a miserable nuke, I've got like disease protection or something. It's just miserable. I mean, I know that I think actually, I don't think it was Nick or someone said that is a class that does need quite a lot of work. So yeah, but it's a bit of a miserable class at the moment with regards to things to do. You don't even, yeah, so I think they removed the buff recently, so you don't even get any buffs for your pets. It's like, I don't mind about classes being OP. You know, I think that you get your classes that are not good at stuff, and then you get your classes that are good at a lot of stuff. I think that's fine. You know, you don't want balanced classes, but yeah, the Enchanter does seem to get quite a lot of buffs. I don't mind that though, as long as the other classes are fleshed out a bit as well, you know. I can't believe there's no one here. No, you don't, Thomas, no. That's what I'm aware anyway. We're actually saying that though, it's not like there's a load of people around. I mean, there's no one. There's a undead camp over there, but there's still loads of undead around. So yeah, I mean, it's not like 200 people on. So I wasn't sure if the weir rats just did something nasty, so people avoided them, but. does have a nice immersive coastline, I would say. And I love the boat that sails along the coast. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll go back. I don't think that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in EverQuest, druids had a spell that could change the weather, didn't they? I don't remember how effective it was or not, though. I think it was mainly used to turn the rain off in the Karanas. I think it's pretty much. Yeah, I think technically, like the network stuff seems really good, really solid. I've had some rubber banding in Night Harbour. Yesterday I had that, but only now and again, um, and I haven't had any today. There seems to be less people about today, but I guess it's it's middle of the week. Swimming skill goes up nice and quickly, which is good. I think what we'll do is we'll go back to Newbie Town and get to level 4, and maybe we can buy a pet, some daggers. I'm assuming, I hope there's some lore behind the pirates turning into weir rats, and I kind of think it would be cool also if there was some kind of morphing thing going on where they changed in front of you rather than like spawning, rather than despawning and respawning, which I guess is probably what happens. Like as you're fighting, if you're fighting one and it spawns and it changes, that'd be cool. I was always surprised that you don't see too many classes like that either. Actually, like Project Gorgon's got some, but like rather than a druid kind of changing into just a druid or something, just changing into an animal, then you get like a weir class. Project Gorgon's cool because yeah, yeah. Yeah, Project Gorgon's got this cool thing where I'm sure you all know anyway, but where you during a real during like a IRL full moon, then you're stuck as a werewolf, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so it could almost be like two classes, couldn't it? So like the weird class could be like during the day you're a human, whatever, some sort of fighter of some sort, I guess, but with relevant skills. And in the evening, after a certain point, you change. You can't you change into a, you know, you change into your weird form, and you're that for the rest of the evening. And like maybe you'd be shunned by certain groups, like the cities or something during that time. That'd be cool. I do like characters with uh, limitations like that. I understand people might not want to play them all the time, but that'd be pretty cool. Maybe there's like a something like maybe there's like some sort of potion you could make that would briefly turn you into back to your human form at night if you had to go to town to do something or whatever, or And it would also be cool if obviously you're not in complete control of your. I'm going to write that class down. I like that. You're not in complete control of your faculty. So in your group, like maybe your group members take like there's some sort of, I don't know, like maybe they take a little tick of damage, or there's some debuff, but obviously like your DPS would kind of make up for it essentially. Or someone's actually done half damage to Chompers. It's a kiter though. Might be an archer or something. Yeah, masking the smell, that would be good. There's so much you could do with classes. I kind of feel it's a shame that we're still stuck in this kind of generic thing. Yeah, like, I just think anyone who's played Project Gorgon, I can't imagine, I don't understand why they're not inspired to try something different with their characters. Literally, that weird one was just off the top of my head. But pirate, like I've got a pirate class with some abilities which I like. I think the one that's fleshed out the most is a demonologist, and the summoning is obviously the main thing with that. But what I'd want to do is like you get to your camp point and you can mark down like a summoning circle that doesn't move. You know, that's kind of like the limitation of it. And you can kind of summon pets, but if you kind of mark out your summoning circle with, you know, with your chalk and whatever it is, maybe you've got to carry some candles around and that kind of thing, and you get like a little circle on the floor and whatnot, then you can summon more powerful being demons and stuff. I just think that, yeah, I think EverQuest is obviously the best, but Project Gorgon really did spoil me for other games when I think of some of the brilliant ideas that they incorporated into their game. Yeah, I really like that kind of like deck building thing in Sota. It was yeah, really interesting. And let's be honest, it's probably the most interesting combat system that I mean, I know Sota's become like an absolute farce at this point for many people, but I'd say it's the closest to a genuinely different, interesting combat system. Really. Okay, level 2. What can we kill? We can kill some spiders, and I think I can kill even as a puny low level enchanter. I can probably kill some spiders and some fire beetles. I think. I think that's from a design point of view. That's probably kind of where I think just games in general. I mean, AAA games have regressed. Let's be honest. You know, I can remember Commodore 64 games that have got more depth than AAA games on, you know, nowadays. But yeah, I think for MMOs, I think they've regressed as well. I think they've just stayed at a point. And yeah, and apart from Project Gorgon, I don't think anyone really has tried anything new or different. What you don't seem to get is like unlocks. You know, like I know some people won't like them, but it's like in Project Gorgon, you can't pick up. You have to kind of unlock the druid class. You know, that kind of thing. Just little things like you just don't see those kind of things, do you? Well, I kind of think that I think what's often lacking is that the people in the world are the lore as well, and I don't mean the NPCs. I mean the players. You know, it's like I don't know. Like I'm not saying that random weird class I just came up with is amazing, but I just kind of think of all the role playing things that I could do with it. You know, assuming that the game gave you the tools and that kind of thing. I just think that. I mean, this game's got it a bit. Like I like the fact that the enchanters seem to be kind of like the secret class that you know have got to be watched, and it's all kind of behind. It's all a bit sort of bit shady kind of thing. Yeah, as I said, I just think the Project Gorgon probably spoiled a lot of stuff because some stuff they took risks on some stuff. Some of it doesn't work, but you know. When you think about it, the only story or lore a game has got is how you interact with it and how the game allows you to interact with it. It's this people try to compare them to books and films, but it's really not that way because a book or a film is a linear experience. You know, when I'm not sure about story and lore being, I mean, I don't want question marks over heads and stuff, but it's just a shame that a lot of people will kind of miss the lore and whatever it may be because they'll just skip past it. Maybe because they didn't see it. Maybe because it's not interesting enough for them to engage with it. You know, I just think that. It's a lot of work, right? But every class could have a really deep lore backstory that's got, you know, loads of things to discover and loads of quests and whatever it may be. Reasons for what they're doing, like why they're doing it. Like it wasn't. I think I created a high elf paladin. Anyway, I just can't get my bag box or whatever. High elf paladin in EverQuest, and it wasn't until I took the time to go and sit around and hail some of the NPCs that. You know, I mean, questing in EverQuest is obviously pretty limited, but like going around and like, getting feedback from the cleric high elf paladin guild as to why they're there and what they're doing and what their purpose is. Like you can find out all that stuff if you just go and house some NPCs and talk to them. And they set you like a goal as well, like a goal for your character, which is sorry, let me just do this. Goal for your character, which essentially is oh no, don't want that. Resin, Jesus Christ, I must end up with so much resin. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, you kind of and the ultimate goal is that they talk about not Blackburrow. Oh, it's a phone call. I'm just going to mute for a sec. Okay, well, my phone might go again. We've got cut off, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, although I do feel that like I've played, I think probably most of the classes actually, a little bit, done the starter quests. I do feel some of the starter quests, the wording is a bit too a bit too cryptic, maybe. I know EverQuest kind of gave you prompts as to what words to use and stuff, and I don't think it necessarily needs that. But a couple of times I come across stuff that's almost a bit cryptic. And as you say, like I think most people are just not going to have the patience to. It's a balance, isn't it, between although we don't like to think it, probably. I think just that there's a lot of people that play even to play old school games that just want to. It's all about leveling, and then the game begins, kind of thing. You know, that's kind of where a lot of people are. I think there are people like us who are probably a balance of that, but you know, I think there is a large group of people who. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that AI has a real impact in games for the good. You know, just improving on things that. I was hoping that AI would help with stuff that you're talking about, like the immersiveness of the world, like conversations with NPCs, even the world building itself. You know. Oh yeah, let's turn the. Thank you for that. It might look a bit. Let's default the filter. There we go. It looks a bit dark, but the sun's coming up, so. See if we can burn this fire beetle down. You can't give your enchanter pets weapons at the moment, which is a bit disappointing. They're just a sword and board, aren't they? For the most part, anyway, at the beginning. I like some of the ideas that well, it doesn't change. Like I've given when I played previously, which was a couple of weeks ago, I guess, on my enchanter. I was giving them weapons, but they didn't show up like they do on the. I think maybe they take it, but it doesn't show up. What I do next time is if I get a big two-handed weapon, I'll give it to my newbie pet. Oh, it's hard waiting for level 4 and meditate, isn't it? When you're a new caster, it's like that on P99, though, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. Like the worst thing about being starting a caster class, you get into level 4, like level 3 particularly. Oh, for some reason, it's so mind-numbingly dull. But once you get 4, you're off and away. I guess for most classes, like the enchanter and the magician, you don't really get your pet until level 4. Well, magicians don't have a pet at level 1, so which is always thought weird. Where's my bloody spider gone? Someone kill it. Only Bones is a cool name. Even though it ended in disaster, I like that. I like the name of that streamer guild. Only Fangs. I thought that's pretty good. That one where Pirate Software kind of See what I've been watching on YouTube recently is rubbish, and by rubbish I mean the quality of stuff that YouTube was originally all about. What got me onto it was, I guess you probably have never heard of him before, but there was a guy who was pretty big on YouTube. He used to do crazy videos like mixing loads of dangerous cocktails of drinks together and drinking them, or like making food out of like pasta, sausage rolls, ice cream, and whatever it may be. I can't remember his name. But he died recently, and I was watching some of his videos, and I was thinking, this is just what YouTube used to be all about. Just like the worst looking camera you can get, and just doing mental stuff. I guess like now it's become like a business for a lot of people, but yeah, I've been watching that sort of content. Just some crazy kid or whatever, just doing crazy stuff, just on camera, talking crap, you know. So. I guess you don't get it so much now because YouTube doesn't want that kind of content, do they? It's not, you know. It's so cynical. Like I noticed, I think it was recently that Helldivers 2 had a big patch or an update or a content update. And so like all of the usual suspects have done loads of new videos doing like 101 things newbies should know and all that kind of thing. It just all feels so cynical. It's just algorithm bait seems to be, you know. It's all the same. I don't think any genre or game is really free of it. Even indie games. It's just bait for the algorithm. It's just pretty sad, really. But there you go. I mean, I suppose the thing is, if you've got yourself in a situation where that is your income, then I suppose you have to, you know. I mean, a while ago I started writing some scripted videos about things in gaming and culture that what am I trying to say? I started writing some stuff down to make more scripted videos about that kind of thing. But you know, it's like first of all, unless you have an extreme position, then and if you're doing it because you want to make money from it, it's not worth it because it's the extreme position one way or the other that kind of sells. And also, it's about coming up with a way of doing it that's different, you know, and original, and not cynical like you see. Are you going for that? Nope. Oh no, they're looking for ore. They are. Well, that's well timed. Oh. I started a warrior last night just to faff around, and I got I don't know what level he is, probably level 4 or 5, and I got like the warrior. The tanks get quite a nice, or the paladin and the warrior anyway, get quite a nice starting tunic for completing the first quest. But I got a set of the rest of the scarab stuff as well, and a two-handed weapon. It's weird, the warrior, isn't it? Like, it's weird. I played the warrior a little bit on Pantheon as well, and it's one of those things, isn't it? Where how do you update? How do you try and update a class? Actually, I was about to say, how do you try and update an EverQuest class that doesn't make it feel like, wow, Classic WoW. But I think a lot of the people on the team creating the game really like Classic WoW. So I suppose that's kind of what a lot of their inspiration is. Certainly for the warrior, like with charge and all that kind of stuff. But it's yeah, the warrior. I don't think a warrior class is in a new MMO is ever going to feel anything like the EverQuest one. But yeah, which is the way it is, I suppose. It's so interesting though, the EverQuest one. You wouldn't think it would be, but it really is. I think it's more interesting actually than having a load of cooldowns to press. But I understand why people do it, because that's, you know. I kind of feel though that you have to go a bit more all in, I suppose, a bit like classic WoW. I looked at the warrior spell list. I looked at the warrior spell list, and it's pretty dull. I think someone said that all the abilities scale, but there's only like around 10 or 12 abilities. So it's kind of like a halfway house, really. I don't know, but maybe it's a class that's got work to do, stuff to work on with it and stuff. Well, the EQ Warrior basically didn't really have a lot to do in a sense at pressing buttons. It was more of a class about white damage, so it was mostly about the standard damage every round that you did. We didn't really have abilities that did damage. There was a really cool ability where if your hit points dropped to a certain level, you went into like a berserker frenzy, and you did that. There's a chance to do like critical hits and all that kind of stuff. What I liked about the warrior is how it was itemized. So like it had no magic or abilities at all, but you could make up for that to a certain extent with items that you wore had like spell effects and buffs on them. So they had no innate damage, no innate magic, but they could subsidize that by, you know, using items and stuff. But the thing with the warrior in EQ was that it was the supreme tank for raids and stuff, pretty much. So that was mostly why people leveled them. It's quite a good DPS actually, but in here I'm not sure if the fighter is supposed to be the best tank for raids and stuff. I haven't really looked into it that much. If it's not, then you kind of question the viability of it, really. Like the EverQuest warrior, like when the warrior got into its 50s in EverQuest, it would get some abilities that would essentially make it immune to damage for a short period of time and that kind of thing, you know. So if you were raiding stuff, then you had a warrior. You can tell it's quieter this morning because not 100 people running for the skeleton that's just spawned. Hey Slim, how you doing? But maybe it will be the same here. I mean, if the fighter is just innately not a magic class, then maybe there'll be warriors, you know, fighter specific items that will overcome that and make it, you know, overcome some of those deficiencies. The problem with the fighter is it needs to be a class like that needs to be supreme at a thing, because it doesn't really have any like self-sustain, so it can't heal itself like a paladin or a shadow knight. It's got no crowd control like an inquisitor, so you know, so yeah, thank God for that. Holy smokes, cloth! There really was a big cloth hole for leveling, like, you know, trying to level up and make a bag. Yeah, but that's good. I think I've got my gamma turned up as well still. Yeah. Yeah, so I think the warrior, the fighter, needs to be supreme at something. Otherwise, it's almost a redundant class. I don't know what the ratio is, but it certainly gets a lot more hit points than the enchanter per level. That's for sure. When I was playing with Warrior yesterday as well, I noticed that I hadn't looked into it, so maybe it was a mistake, but I didn't see I couldn't. Bandages are far too expensive. It's like a couple of silver just to buy 10, and it's the only way to heal yourself as a fighter at that point. So I just couldn't afford to buy any bandages. But also I got a bit of cloth, but I couldn't make any bandages either because there didn't seem to be. Maybe it's a different skill table or something, or a different work table. I wasn't sure. The cloth one didn't seem to be able to have any. Didn't seem to have any bandages. A bandage option. I'll look into that a bit later again. Yeah, this is a great spot here because all the mobs are level 3, apart from the rattlesnakes, which are level 4. So when you get to level 3, it's a good place. Let's zone through here. Sometimes just over the zone line here. Is it survival? Okay, Liz, thank you. I'll go check it out. Check it out. Is it a skill? Is it something you have to buy? Maybe. Should that be in here, or is it a skill I have to go and do I have to go and buy or something? Ooh. Some spiders. It's level 2 mobs. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, I went to the trainer yesterday and I trained the skill. Maybe I didn't train. I don't have any points in it, so maybe I need to put a point in it or something to get it. I didn't check actually. There's some weird healing balances in the patch as well. Like, I think I don't know if it was just the shamans and druids that were nerfed a bit, but there's like a weird gap where one of the healing spells does like double figures. I can't remember what the number is, but then the next one available is like 350, like 16 levels away. It kind of almost feels like it must be a mistake. It can't be right. I think maybe they're trying to make clerics more of the direct healing kind of, but you know, the direct healing kings. But yeah, that seemed a bit weird. I don't know why, when I'm level 2 and I see a fire beetle or a spider, I get unreasonably excited. I like it. I enjoy playing. I enjoy playing the warrior on EQ, and I like the idea that there's a class that, look, you're just good at this. You're the best at this. That's how it is. But I do think that you could come up with ideas to make them a bit more interesting to level, though. Because I think what you find on P99 is, like, you know, people twink level warriors because they're needed, you know, as opposed to playing them because they enjoy them or they're enjoyable. There used to be, back in the day, I remember some warriors who were just warriors. There's a guy that did some YouTube stuff, I think, and whatnot. I think it was an Ixar one. The fighter, or the game itself. Was that guy tempted to kill Steal My Skellington? I can't imagine he was much higher level than me, is he? Maybe he's just very, very twinked. Yeah, it was interesting. It was weird that I think with the warrior starting quest, it was weird because I think the paladin starter tunic has got more AC than the fighter one. I think. I'm sure that's. I thought to myself, that's weird. The fighter's got less AC on their starter tuning than the paladin. But it's a skeleton. How long will it last? Oh, I'd vein spotted it. No, the other dude got it. One-shotted it. Oh, thank you, man. It just reminded me that I need to cast my own buff as well. What's your feeling on quests then, Liz? Is it do you like the I mean, I quite like I kind of quite like going through the quest process in classic WoW. I didn't like the fact that it was the kind of the main way of leveling. Yeah, I saw the disenchanting trainer earlier on. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, like, wow, you could just give them a load of cooldowns, I suppose, depending on what your aim is. I mean, I kind of think that a pure warrior is, if a pure warrior is good at something, is the best at some stuff. I think, you know, but they don't have too much utility. I think that's fine. As I said, like in EverQuest, the warrior can get lots of different buffs and stuff and whatever that it can cast on itself from items. You know, it can cast some magical effects on mobs that it wouldn't be able to do without certain items. A lot of the stuff is a procs, you know, so weapons with procs on that proc a magical effect. So it's quite interesting in that regard. That you know, it's got those options to flesh it out. What a dick. Turk, he's a dick. too high for me, isn't it? I think probably. Yeah, I mean, I do really enjoy the slight ambiguity of EverQuest quests, where they're not obviously, you know, question marks over the head type things, but just more of them. I think the thing with them is that there has to be a point that's not just lore. And the problem with a lot of the EverQuest quests is that some of them are really interesting to do. Some of them take a long time. But the problem is that there's almost no reward. That's the problem. And I think it's one of those things where people don't want, I don't know, maybe people who play EverQuest don't want, hey mate, how you doing? Thanks for the buff. Yeah, so the itemization of quests in EverQuest is just not very good unless you do the epic quest. So I think that, like, I'd like to see the quests, the EverQuest quests, you know, where they're there, but they're not question marks obvious. There has to be some input, like maybe the quest information is, you know, you get directed in the right direction, but you don't get you don't necessarily, it doesn't hold your hand, as the saying goes, you know. But the rewards have got to be worth doing, otherwise people just won't do them. Like, people just won't interact with your well-written quest if you get a few gold and a bit of experience. It's just not, you know. I mean, there's a period on P19 Armour I was actually looking out for quests to do, but you wouldn't do them for the reward. So I mean, you know, quests can be rewarding. I don't think there's a problem with that. You don't have to go like completely modern where you get like a new best replacement sword for a quest, but I definitely wouldn't be against seeing like quest upgrades. So, like, as a fighter, we were talking about a fighter, like maybe, I don't know, level 5 you get a quest for like a, I don't know, bronze weapon or something. At level 10 maybe you get, maybe the quest expands and you get a quest where you know, maybe at level 10 you can quest for a new weapon or whatever. You know, I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I must confess I kind of stopped doing them though. Like the XP, the bone chip turning quest just gives miserable XP, even at level 1. At level 2, it's just almost not worth doing. So I just kind of stopped. I would sell them instead. I mean, if you need, you know, faction with a paladin guild at some point or whatever, then maybe it's worth doing. But yeah, it's like, it's miserable after. It's just not worth doing. As I said, unless you need faction. I think it's just a thing though, isn't it? Like, I don't think that. I think you see. I think a lot of the classic mentality is they're scared to do quests because maybe it takes away from. You had the same thing with crafting at one point as well, where what should be better, a crafted item or a dropped item, you know, and you still get that actually, don't you, to a certain extent. But I don't think that developers should be scared at giving quests to people that upgrades an item they've got, as long as there's some sort of balance in some way, you know. not sure if you mean the guild master of the class, Liz, but I actually also think that I think it'd be cool if MMOs incorporated something like actual like guild tasks, for example. I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like it could be quite mundane, but your guild leader could set one of the tasks as kill 1,000 of this mob or whatever or something, you know. And if you, when your guild achieves it, then you get a little buff, like a little buff. All the guild members get a little buff for a week or something, or, you know, that kind of thing. Just something. I just think there's just far too in role-playing games. There's just far too little in the way of, I don't know. It's not role-playing in a sense, but yeah, just things for people to do outside of just killing mobs. Actually saying that though, the reward, the actual guild quest was killing mobs, but do you know what I mean? Like just, I'm sure you can make them a lot more interesting, but maybe gather a certain amount of something or whatever it may be, and if your guild achieves it, then they get like 7 days worth of like a little buff or something. I don't know, a little hit point or mana regen thing or something or whatever, or you know. Just get people working as a guild doing stuff. Maybe, like, I really, 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 really hate level restricted content. So obviously I really, 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 really hate the bone construct in this game. Although it is the only one. But it actually might be quite cool for a guild as people are leveling up. So maybe you have like a... Maybe you could say, like, all your level 10 members, level 10 and below members, if you go and kill this mob, you know, before you're level 11, you get a little buff or something. And then there's like a level 20 boss mob type thing that only if you're below that level you can interact with it. Just for the purpose of the guild thing. Yeah, I don't know, just give guilds something to do. Give guild quests. I think quite often the guild stuff kind of only really falls into the construction side of things, doesn't it? So, like, everyone in the guild contributes to building a guild hall or something or whatever it may be, which I think is cool, but you could do a lot more with it. Kind of thinking of things like you were saying about class quests and stuff as well. So like a bard quest could be like the bard guild leader could give bards a quest where, you know, like you have to kind of group up with 4 other bards or 5 other bards. What's the maximum? Is it 6 the maximum group size? So maybe a quest could be you have to kind of group up with some other bards and go and perform a concert in an inn or something, you know, and that kind of thing. Just lots of fun role playing stuff that you could do with stuff. Or stuff we've spoken about before, you know, where if you double up on classes, if you double up on classes in a group, maybe you get a special different effects, you know. Like if you've got a duo of bards in your group, maybe the songs are a bit more powerful, or there are certain songs that are only unlocked if you're a duo, that kind of thing, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think the games have got like, you know, you've got the games. Anyway, you've got the game, you know, I think that, like this game, for example, has got the feeling right, I think. But at the moment, a lot of the stuff that they're doing feels kind of a bit generically EverQuest. It does have some stuff that is kind of its own, but yeah, I don't know. There must be ways of incorporating stuff into an EverQuest kind of format that yeah, like warriors could, yeah, like you could kind of come up with stuff of every class, couldn't you, if you had two of them in a group. It's a good thing, rather than EverQuest, rather than saying, oh, there's a warrior looking for group, but we don't want another one. It kind of means that people will look for. I'm not sure who this twat is over here, but seeing as I've seen in one shot skeletons, I'm assuming he's a twat, and that's what he's looking for. There's 3 times now he's hit my skeleton. Yeah, that'd be cool. I also liked a lot of the flavour. Like I don't like. It'd be cool if abilities had a bit more flavour as well, like rather than just being like a mez kind of thing. So I'm kind of thinking of like in Lord of the Rings Online. Like the burglar's got like a mez that's called Riddle, and the animation on the mob for it is the mob just stands there and he's kind of, it's almost like he's trying to work out this riddle, he's confused by it kind of thing, just lots of little flavourful stuff like that. So like mez just doesn't have to be mez, it could be something else that just feels more flavourful for the class kind of thing. Yeah, there's so much you could do with it, but I guess it's just a programming thing, isn't it? Really, I don't know. I think like Project Gorgon seems to have solved a little bit of that. So they had a thing. They had a thing where if you went to like bards would they would advertise like concerts in a pub or something, right? And if you went along, you would gain. I think there would be a buff that you would get, and the longer you listened to the music, the longer the buff would be. And I think from the bard's point of view, there was like a skill that their bard skill went up. I think depending on who was listening and how many people were listening and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so I mean they were a small indie team of like literally like 2 people, so they worked it out. So there must be a way of incorporating like more group orientated effects and whatnot. Yeah, so like maybe like mages, for example, could have like a. Obviously, you don't want it to be too overpowered, but maybe in a pinch, like as a desperation move or something, or just an extra DPS every now and again. They've got like a thing where they can summon a bigger pet if there's more than one of them. That just does more damage for a brief period of time, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm sure we're just talking rubbish, really. Well, thank you for the buff, friend. Yeah, I mean, pets are something that were always, I think, underused as well. I think the elementalist here is pretty interesting. I think because all the pets seem to have a couple of different abilities, which is interesting. man, the jackal pups kill steal my bloody... Oh, if it's not some knobhead, it's another bloody mob. What have you got against skeletons? Smokes. I think the thing with that also is what seems to be incorporated, and there's still some people who don't believe that you could do it in EverQuest, despite the fact me creating multiple level 1 characters to test it out of different races, is that the mobs also have got this rubber band thing that is really cheap, and so you just can't get away from them. Well, that's my experience anyway. And you can't strafe like in EverQuest. But in EverQuest, you can just about keep ahead of the mob, unless it's got so. But Pantheon did it as well, where you had this sprint thing. But once sprint run out, you couldn't get away from the mob. It was just like they were you'd run along and you'd look behind. I'd look behind me, and the mob was literally like 20 feet behind me, but it was still hitting me. And that could have been some strange like network thing. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's I don't mind mobs chasing me to a zone, but you at least need to feel as though you can get away. Otherwise, what's the point in running? Might as well just stay there and die. It doesn't really make any sense. There he is, that jerk. Lol, that's what his name. I should have called him. Just being mean. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's like if you've got a massive zone and you have to run to zone 9, it's not. Yeah, I don't mind. Again, I don't mind mobs giving up. I suppose when you think about it, it's not even logical that they would chase you all the way to the end of the zone, really. It's... I think on P99 they incorporated that thing, didn't they? Where I think if you got far enough away from the mob, it will stop chasing you. But that's not possible unless you've got run buff. Yeah, particularly if you're a humanoid. I'm assuming it's a bug, but I've seen this thing before where people move around as though they're flying or floating or jumping, but they get stuck in the animation, but they seem to be moving around a lot quicker than they should be. I'm not sure if that's a bug or an exploit or something, but our friend's doing it anyway. Yeah, that's something else that I was wondering if AI would help with. I kind of think that, I get MMOs, I guess, generally is that it's there's little, I guess, what you would call finesse or levels of so like EverQuest got different levels of faction, for example, different levels of how someone likes you. And again, it's one of those things where it's like incorporating it into the game, isn't it? And what it means from a programming point of view and stuff. But like if you had some bandits that weren't actually aggro, but they were bandits, and maybe if you aggroed them, I don't know how that would work. I guess there wouldn't be any combat. Maybe they could say in chat, give us some money or we'll kill you or whatever. And if you gave them some gold. You know, they wouldn't aggro you or whatever it may be. That kind of thing. You know, just stuff to make things a bit more. I think that's what I always hoped that PvP would be. And I've seen some games where it kind of is like that, but unless you get into a heavy role-playing server, it's not really like that. People just want to kill you, essentially. There's no, like, you know, it'd be cool if you could have, like, AI banditry and that kind of stuff. That'd be pretty awesome. Or maybe there was, like, an area or a dungeon that you had to pass through, and there was a faction that controlled it, and you could, if you kind of bribed someone, you know, the faction, you could go through the faction and they weren't aggro, but if you didn't, you could fight your way through, that kind of thing. A giant spider's quite a long way from home. I imagine someone's brought it over and I think just talking about all this stuff, and I'm as I said, I know that most of us haven't got any idea of the reality of incorporating this into a game, but I think from a single player game point of view as well, I think that's a disappointing thing. How most of this stuff, there's just been no progress in gaming, like computer gaming. It's been like a regression, really. It's there's no new ideas. Okie doke. I don't think they're level 6, so I guess it's probably level 7. So yeah, so I mean doable at level 8. Or even level 7, I guess. Definitely. Or even level 6 if you're a pet class. Or even level 5 maybe if you're if you're hardy enough. Oh look, there's one of those. Oh, I can't. Oh, is he off? Oh, he's off piste. Is he off piste? No. Ah, he's on the zone. He's out of the zone line. I wonder if he'll come into the zone line. Ah, there's a skeleton there, but he's with a hat on. But he seems to be over the zone line because I can't pull him. The zone line is just there, so he's kind of in the other zone almost, or behind the wall. That's a shame. He's got like one of those little hoods that make you look really tall. Ow. See if we can kill these two. We'll try it. See if we can burn one down and see how we go. Hopefully they attack me at the same time, so I can get a spell off. Well, that worked out pretty well. But so we have a couple of buffs, so I'll say that we haven't won yet. What do people think about that? Do people want to engage with that kind of thing? I'm trying to think of some other things. Oh, for God's sake. Massive knob. I've walked over the zone line and gone behind the wall. Yeah. Lovely, yeah. Can we... Oh, we're out of mana anyway. Okay. What do people think about those little, like, things? I'm trying to think of... I mean, Project Gorgon, I know I keep mentioning it, but it's got so many examples. So Project Gorgon has got a giant bat class, and the skills or spells for it, whatever you want to call them, only drop during Halloween. It's got some NPCs some goblin NPCs that you can't talk to until you learn the goblin language to a certain level, and you learn a language by killing goblins and getting like scraps of paper that drop that you read, those kind of things. I mean, do people like those kind of role play kind of things or fluffy things, or is that just not? Do you think that's just not in general what MMO players want, whether they're classic MMO players or whatever that may be? I don't know. Like, yeah, Gorgon's got so many. Like, you could literally come up with like the full moon thing. Necromant, like I think they changed it to be a bit more practical, but early on in the game development of the game, necromancers had to like go to somewhere where there were tombstones to create their pets and stuff, you know. And a lot of it, as I said, a lot of it people didn't like. It was maybe they felt it was a bit impractical. I don't mind having classes like that though, where if you want to play them, you know, it's well, I think learning the Goblin language opened up quests from Goblin NPCs essentially. I think that's how it worked. Yeah, there's so many in that game. I keep meaning to go back to it actually, but yeah, so many good ideas. I say good ideas. I mean, it's not something that we haven't seen before, like reading books or playing D&D or whatever it may be. There's a couple of skeletons fall behind the zone line there. That's annoying. Yeah, so the druid class was an unlockable class. You had to, I think, you had to level. I think you had to level a class to 50 before you could unlock it. And I think there was you had the battle chemist class, but you had to level alchemy to a certain level before you could unlock it. That kind of thing. Yeah. I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? Where if you say if you exclusively play druids in EverQuest and someone creates an EverQuest like, and then you play the game and you find out that you got to unlock the druid class, you know, maybe that's why people don't do it, because maybe we just put those people off. I don't know. I mean, weirdly, like, developers make loads of decisions that puts classic MMO players off, but yeah, maybe all your druids would be, well, I don't want to unlock the druid class, just want to play it, kind of thing. Not in the game, I don't think. No, definitely not. But you had websites like Ultima Stratix and stuff, and all those kind of things that came out pretty. They're about then. I still remember buying my boxed copy of Ultra Online from the Virgin Megastore in London. Must have been about 98, I guess, or something, around about 98. Because I played it before EverQuest came out. I've still got my box somewhere. I think I did a video about it ages ago. One of those, you know. But we've moved a couple of times since then, so I think a lot of the stuff I've got is just packed away somewhere in the garage or something, or whatever. It's been stuck in boxes for 10 years. Yeah. Yep. You're right. They did have maps, yeah. Yeah, I think just, yeah, it's, I mean, I don't think that MMOs need to have maps really. I would like, again, the thing is though, again, it's a bit like Project Gorgon again. Like had to come up with a good idea where there was a cartography skill, and the more that you explored and unlocked, like the map, when you go into a new map, it has like a fog of war. So the more you unlocked, the higher your cartography skill got. And you could place like pins on the map telling you just like, you know, cave, dungeon, whatever it may be. And as you leveled up the cartography skill, you could put more pins on the map. So it wasn't just the meaningless skill, you know. It's yeah, it's in some, I mean, in many ways, it's almost like the ultimate ideas MMO. But unfortunately, and I think it's the one place they made the mistake, it is horribly grindy. And I think that's kind of where it became a bit, for me anyway, the kind of the grindy stuff became a bit too much. And they started to incorporate, like they had a big combat thing change. And at high levels, all the combat seemed to be about status effects. So you'd fight a mob, and a mob would put like 15 horrible status effects on you, you know, and it just became a bit less and less fun, I think, really. And I think there was kind of like this inverse pyramid of grindiness with skills as well. So you could be an enchant, you know, you could be like a warrior, for example. But then to be a really good warrior, you could unlock these two other classes that kind of gave you bonuses. But then to be even better, you could unlock, you know, four other skill trees that made you better. And it just became like an ongoing grind thing where to be a good class, you had to kind of level up so many other classes. Even some trade skill ones. So yeah, I think there was a trade skill that if you unlocked it and leveled it up, it gave you bonuses as a sword in sword fighting, you know. And I think that took it too far. You know, that was kind of like that part of the game was like the opposite of not having anything interesting. You know, some things just yeah. I think it was a combat for me mostly that put me off. I got fed up with walking into a dungeon and fighting mobs, and this was as you got kind of more like mid to high level, and just having like a mob just put loads of status effects on you. You can't run very fast. You're poisoned. Your strength goes down. Whatever, you know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a tipping point between it being overwhelming, isn't it? Or too grindy or whatever you want to. I think you want to get to. I think the problem is that a lot of this stuff was baked into like was baked into the end game. You know, so if you wanted to be a good enough swordsman or whatever it was, then you kind of needed to do some of this stuff if you were gonna, you know, if you were gonna be good at the end game. Actually, the game, the one criticism I remember of the game, and I think it's not uncommon for indie games, is people didn't like the visuals, they just didn't like the graphics. That was one of the reasons they didn't play it. It had kind of like it was made by by a couple of original Asher and Cool devs, I think. So it kind of had that feeling going on. I really liked it actually, particularly the worlds. Yeah, I mean, despite playing on P99 for a dozen years or so now, there's still loads of stuff that I haven't done. I mean, I came to the acceptance that I don't think you'll get another one like that. I just think it was just, lightning in a bottle. Just for whatever reason, those people were the peak, and they were at the peak of their skills, and they just created something that, that you would never be repeated with regards to like depth and, yeah, it's crazy, really. I don't know if it's because I've been getting into like those some live service games recently and enjoying them, but I don't mind unlockables. Like if I don't know, like if EverQuest had ever had like an unlockable froglock race or something where you can unlock it in some way, a bit like Star Wars Galaxies did originally, where you could you had to unlock the Jedi class, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't mind that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, I'd almost class that as like horizontal content. That sort of that term that everyone like the term that everyone likes. um, yeah, I mean that could be that kind of thing. Where you it's something that you can unlock. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Um, I think the problem with unlockable classes is um, so like if you unlock a Jedi, for example, in Star Wars Galaxies, you couldn't be a Jedi till you unlock it. But if you say you want to, like yesterday, I was saying that I'd really like to have a dwarf shaman, like dwarfs be the shaman class. But if you really like shaman and you could play it anyway, and then you unlock dwarf shaman, would you play it again? I guess some people would. I don't know about class unlocks. I like race unlocks. I would like class unlocks if they were unique classes. Like that would be cool. But I don't know. Like I want to be a dwarf shaman, but do I want to? But I also want to play a shaman. So would I want to unlock dwarf shaman and then play a dwarf shaman after I've already leveled one? I probably would actually. What am I talking about? You know that. I absolutely would. Yeah, I'm not sure. It'd be cool to unlock a class or a specialization. It would be cool to unlock for a class. But for class race combos, it's a good idea. But I think if you like the class anyway, that kind of means you're not if you I don't know, like to unlock like a say that one of the combos was a dwarf shaman. To unlock it, would I have to level a shaman? In which case, I don't know. Or could you unlock it with any class or whatever? That's a Maybe it'd be a set of quests for. Maybe there's a dwarf city and a set of quests you can do for the dwarves. Like any class can do it, or whatever, that kind of thing. Yeah, do you know what? It's disappointing because I really don't like the ogre model. Um, there's something about it. It's too. I find it too tall and skinny. But I think not skinny, but too tall and yeah. I think it's just. It's almost impossible to beat the EverQuest ogre, isn't it? The classic version. Yeah. They're a bit gangly. A bit too gangly for my tastes. I like the idea. I don't know if they still had it, but I seem to remember watching a Pantheon stream years ago when Brad was doing them, and there was like a frost. They were in a dungeon, and there was like frost dwarves or something that you could. I'm not sure if you could play them, but they were just a different faction. Like I'd love to play. like a different, yeah, as you say, like a different faction of an ogre. That's, you know, where you can. I suppose maybe if they give you options to tint the skin red or blue or whatever, maybe in character creation, maybe that would be enough. Not sure if it's been adjusted, but nighttime seems to last a long time. It feels longer than it used to. Maybe it's just my imagination. Just run towards it. Oh, there's a skeleton there with a staff. That's OP. I think it might be a cracked staff actually, because didn't they? Oh no, it's not. No, it's a. Is it one of the two? Is it two-handed? I don't know actually. Oh, it's a scythe. Yeah, nighttime seems too long to me. Again, it's one of those weird things, isn't it? Where, you know, that seems to be one of the things that they change. I was talking the other day about incorporating stuff from classic MMOs, but just making them more annoying. Like Ember's Drift did it as well, where, I mean, they had this cool idea of, like, in the winter the nights were longer, and, you know, in the summer they were shorter and whatnot. But you know, in theory, it just doesn't. Particularly when your game is almost pitch black, as that game was for a period of time before they changed it. I don't know. I just think it's just not. You know. Yeah. It's amazing that even when you think back to really old games and some stuff that they had there, that MMOs just don't incorporate them anymore. So like Asheron's Call had a seasons mechanic, you know, where in the winter, in winter in real life, in America anyway, I guess it was, like they would change the season so it was snowing on the ground and that kind of thing. I quite like Worm Online had like a seasons thing as well. It wasn't tied to real life time, but it was still pretty cool, you know. Like those kind of things. Like why would you not have seasons in your game? I mean, surely technically, if Asheron's Call could do it, then, you know, then a modern game could do it, surely. I mean, games like New World kind of try to do it, but you get like a few areas where you got like some snow on the ground and whatnot. It's not really like yeah, but all those kind of things, just to make the world feel more alive. I used to love logging into Asheron's Call in the winter, knowing that it was going to start snowing soon. It was really cool. I saw an interesting video the other day, a couple of videos about gaming in general. One of them was that, well, I think there's been some numbers come out recently that Zoomers have stopped buying games, or not Gen Z, I guess, and not buying games essentially. So there's some people talking about the fact that there's some generations of people coming up who are not buying games for whatever reason, and yeah, and how it's going to affect the games industry and whatever. But also tying into that, it's how we've kind of been like gaslit or kind of brainwashed into accepting crap, and like, you know, like unethical practices and whatnot. I mean, like one of the whole things around Pirate Software recently was the, you know, stop killing games kind of thing, where he was vocal against that. Yeah, and this idea that that you buy a game, you don't own it, And because all games are online now, if they just want to shut it down, then that's it. You kind of lost your money essentially. Yeah, it's a strange old time in the next 5 to 10 years. On a daily basis, you seem to get loads of videos from the usual suspects going, "Oh, we're winning," like woke's being kicked out of games. But then you watch the latest game show and previewing all new games, and it's like, well, it's not really. It's like they're just trying to kind of hide it more. I think what's happened to the gaming industry, and it's also happened to obviously a number of other things as well. Let's go and sell this stuff I've got. See if I can buy a spell or something. Is that gaming is one of those things that's one of those subcultures that's been taken over by people who are not really gamers, you know, and they don't really care about games, but they've found their way in, but they're activists who have found their way into gaming, because they don't like it, because it's blokes that play it or whatever. Yeah. It's parody almost. Some of it. It's almost, it's so weird. It's almost parody, like some ideological parody that you'd see in like a sketch show, like 20 years ago or something, 30 years ago. When you listen to some of these people talking. I think it probably, yeah. I mean, I think um, it's like, to use a well-worn word now, I would say, after in the last 5 to 10 years, I don't even know if I'm talking about like the woke political ideological crap. I'm not sure if I don't think Fortnite was kind of like the first of that affected that. I think looking at things from a point of view of like a unethical practices in gaming and that kind of thing. I think the thing I draw the line at is publishers expecting you to buy a game, but but you don't own it. You know, it's like, almost like rental. That is pretty crazy. From a monetization point of view, from a monetization point of view, I don't care. But then I'm not a gambler. Like I can understand how some people would have a real problem, and I do know that obviously, we've all seen the videos, I'm sure, of marketing people talking to gamers and talking about how they're going to fleece them for every penny they've got and stuff. And they're obviously people that are obviously kind of those kind of gambling type people who are susceptible to that kind of thing. Obviously, I don't think that's right. But I do think at the end of the day, like, we have to try and take responsibility ourselves, for those kind of things. But at the same time, that's stuff that is purposely preying on people. I mean, honestly, I'm of the mind, really, that even if it's an MMO, I think that if you've paid for a game and they're going to shut it down, then at least allow you to have the game locally, so you can maybe create your own server, or if someone takes your game and creates a server because you've closed it down, like, don't give them a hard time. That's you closed it down. The live service game thing is ridiculous, where you've got like a single player game that you have to be online to play. Yeah, and there's a possibility that they might just stop you playing it. It's just mental. But even multiplayer games that you can play on your own, I think of games like I don't know. I was talking about Helldivers 2. If they ever want to close that down, well, I think it should be their responsibility to come up with a way to allow people to play it locally on their own or whatever. You know, like paying $100 for a game, whatever it is, and just chuck a few in there. Update supplies. Yeah, so the bandages are too expensive. I wonder why I haven't got the make bandage one then. What do I need to do? Oh, do I need to find a survival trainer? There is a survival trainer, isn't there? I wouldn't even excuse MMOs, to be honest with you. It's because they close the game down, but then they act poorly to people creating their own servers. And I'm pretty sure that they're well, I know for certain, obviously, there are instances of it where you could just let someone let someone run the MMO locally from their PC, and they just connect to the world. Obviously, there's no one playing, there's no online features or whatever, but you know, you can still play the game. Wilderness trainer. Hey, dude. Oops. What's that bit of lag? The skill may not be trained. Okay, fair enough. What am I doing wrong then? What am I doing wrong, Liz? Is there a reason I haven't got the... Oh, I can't make bandages. Yeah. I think that should be a requirement. That if they're going to close it down and they give the player a local version of the game that they can just log into and play if they want. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, you know, you get like just random dudes who can create a classic EverQuest server themselves that you can log into. So, I mean, if they can do it, then I've changed first aid and I can buy bandages. And actually, no, hang on a sec. So is there a first aid skill button, or is it like a, or do you just use the bandage? Wilderness. No, let me find survival. Sorry, I was looking at the wilderness one for some reason. Is that dude or dudette around this this area? Oh, I like some of the new animal companions. I mean, that's all that the class has got at the moment, but I like the bear. I think I find it difficult not to have a wolf though. But maybe what I would like is that the pets were different. So the bear was more tanky. Oh, okay. The bear was more tanky. I had that in Project Gorgon as well, where you could. It was the animal taming though, so you could tame different pets and they had different skills and stuff. Oh yeah, there we go. Whee! Let's chuck a couple of little bits of copper in there. Ah, what's your game? Why can't I craft bloody bandages? Bind wound. Okay. So bind wound. Maybe it's just a... The what thing, Liz? Sorry? From the what thing? Frond thing. Oh, is it crafting survival? Oh, There we go. Thank the fawn thing. Thank you very much. I found it. So we can. Okay. So my fighter can make some bandages for himself. Maybe I should save the cloth to give to him. I've done it. I don't know how far the stream behind is, but yeah, I found it. Cool. You said from at the start, I have to say. So what can we do here? We can do some different levels of bandaging, different levels of torch. Oh, that's a good return. 2 cloth bandages per bit of cloth scrap. Oh, so that's good. So you can make quite a lot. I'm happy with that. I don't seem to have any food though. Oh yeah, I do. Lol. Okay, let's chuck some stuff in the bank. Do I need my fishing? Am I doing any fishing today? I don't think so. Let's chuck it all in there. Let's go and see the enchanter dude. Strange thing at the moment where when you see someone far enough away from you, it's like they're doing some kind of sped up Benny Hill sprinting thing. And they slow down as you get nearer. Well, actually, I think that's probably going to be about it because I've got to go and do some stuff. I might log him a Beastmaster later. He's only I think he's only level 6 or something, but see what skills are available. I don't think anything's been updated for this test, but I was thinking of when this test stops as well. I was thinking of maybe patching up my Pantheon accounts and having a look. I don't think anything's changed particularly mechanically, although they've talked about it. Yeah, I've got some chores to do. Make some lunch. Although what I've bought for my lunch, I'm not sure I actually want. So. I might just fall back on some pasta, as we do. Are you playing at the moment, Liz? No. I think that's probably my feeling as well. If you're around tomorrow, give us a shout. We can do some duoing if you want, or step outside of our comfort zone. I keep meaning to go over... Well, I went over there yesterday. I keep meaning to go over to the thingy dungeon, but when I went over there, when I was off stream yesterday, there was a couple of people at the entrance looking for group, and there were a lot of the mobs were but the entrance were dead, so there's obviously a group clearing there, and there were people looking for group. So okay, I think I'm on there as well. Where am I going? Hey Jacob, I'll have a look. I used to watch his videos a bit, but I got a bit fed up with with going on about how great a kickboxer he was or something now. So I kind of stopped watching them. But I'll go and have a look. I'm struggling to think of many that the other indie one that's in development I'm quite interested in. Eternal Tombs, I think it is, because they've got some interesting ideas there. I quite like the idea that they had of like a almost like an AI GM who creates events. You know, so kind of events happen in the zones and stuff. Not something that it's something that's been tried before, but if they can get it right, that'd be pretty cool. I'll check it out though. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other stuff that I would maybe be interested in, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind the Korean ones, to be honest with you, that I played. Um, but I'll check it out. Anyway, dudes and dudettes, thanks for watching. And I'll speak to you again soon. They yeah, they do. um, yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's it been now? I mean, how long ago did we start playing Shroud of the Avatar? Was it 10 years probably, wasn't it? I think. Oh, I think we started playing P99 about 12 years ago. And I still haven't got like an MMO that everyone seems to want to play as a successor to a classic MMO. You know, we're still waiting. Maybe this one will be it. Maybe it'll be a different one. Who knows? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.